everyone, it's Misty here, design team member for Stamp Anything. Thank you so much for joining me. In today's video, I have a Fannie Friday featuring the Peace, Love, and Pride bundle. In today's video, we're going to Europe. And I don't know if this Colosseum die is more Italy or if it's more Greece, but we're gonna go to either one. So I'm gonna be using the adorable images that someone is proposing and on their knee and the other one is getting engaged. So we're gonna be doing some coloring, some die cutting, etc. So if you haven't already, I hope you'll consider subscribing. If you're interested in picking up this bundle, I will have it linked in the description box down below. Down there, you will also find links for Stamp Club, you will find links for Stencil Club, you'll find links for the Facebook group. The Facebook group is where you wanna be. Now I know Facebook, doesn't really appeal to the younger kiddos, but if you join the group, there's so much inspiration, not only from our design team members, not only from Anne and Kevin, but also from our Fannies who are super talented. They are super talented. And if you missed it, we've posted all of our summer event videos and those digi images are available in the store. And then just this past weekend, Kevin and Anne released a set to celebrate the new Barbie movie and they colored those in the group and those images are available as well. So yeah. That's it. That's all I need to tell you. Subscribe, follow us on Instagram, go to the Facebook group, all of the things. Let's head to Europe and get engaged. Hey friends, just a reminder that every Friday in June, my friend Michael Trent and I are posting Pride themed cards. This just happened to work out perfectly. So we're going to do this longer than Pride. So be sure you check out the information in the description box down below. We would love to have you join us as we continue to highlight diversity and equality. All right, let's get into today's card. I already have my cute characters stamped on some Copic friendly paper. I like the 100-pound hammer mill cardstock. So I'm going to give our little cuties names. So this is Zeke and we have Riley. So I have kind of made this easy for myself and for you. I'm actually going to color them using the same skin tone colors. I love to do biracial characters and couples. So in the next video you see, we will do a biracial couple. For this one, I thought, you know what, let's just do the same skin tone. And I was kind of playing around and just kind of had the camera going at the same time. So sometimes I do this too, where I just sit down, I get the itch to color and I sit down and I color and I'm like, okay, I like that. So let's go with it. So I am doing something a little different than what I normally do. I'm really building up the color on the outside of his face. And then once I've done that, then I'm pulling the lightest colors to the center. So one thing I do that not a lot of people do on the design team, and Kevin actually pointed this out, is I color all the way up until the bottom of the pupil. And I guess I do that because for me, and I know these are characterized and that's kind of the chibi style, but number one, it's easier for me than trying to go around it with white. I can't tell you how many times I've tried to do that and just made it look ridiculous. But also, to me, it just makes sense to have that bottom lid right up to the pupil. But either style is correct and either style looks perfect. It's just what works for you. And let me tell you, trying to draw that in with white or painting in with white never works out. I wish I could tell you how many things I've ruined just with that step. So that's why I go ahead and just bring the color all the way up. So it's more like the bottom eyelid. For Riley, I'm going to do the same thing, but since he doesn't have as much hair, like his hair is back where Zeke's hair is forward, I'm not making the shadows quite so deep and quite so dark. This ends up lightening up a lot. That's the one thing to remember about Copics is the color is going to dry back. So Copics are just pigments mixed with alcohol, and that's how it kind of spreads across the paper. So you can think of it as a pigment ink, whereas instead of smearing necessarily, you're actually using that wetness to help blend it together. And that's why you could technically color with Sharpies or Bics or any kind of alcohol-based marker you can do these kinds of blends with. It's not always the easiest, but it can be done. Trust me, I know these things. Ask me how I know. So once I get the skin tone down, I'm just using R20 per usual to add in a little bit of, what's this called? Flush to their cheeks. And then Zeke doesn't have any shorts on, but Riley does. So I'm coloring his cute little bird legs. They're so cute. For his outfit, why I didn't go to the hair next, I'll never know. But for the outfit, I'm using my new favorite pink combo, which is RV 13, 23, and 21. All of these supplies, along with the markers I used, will be linked in the description box down below. I don't know how I came up with this pink combo. Yes, I do. I looked at the hex chart. The hex chart, I mentioned it before, the hex chart by Sandy Allnock is a lifesaver. And she has them for Copic, she has them for Prismacolors, and I believe she has them for the Faber-Castell, what are those called? The pencils, polychromos too. So here's a peek at it. You can see here I'm looking for colors that I think will work for khaki shorts. And I pulled them right up there from that top row. And this hex chart makes it easy to see what colors are together. And how that really helps is there are some colors, like there are some E colors that are definitely more orange than brown. There's an E color that's definitely more, closer to like a pink than a brown. So she's made them kind of where they're close together in tone, etc. And it makes it easier to find colors that will really blend together. So I almost wanted to go ahead and go in and do polka dots or something on the shirt, but I was like, nah, we'll just skip it. And then I gave him some aqua blue Vans because I would wear aqua blue Vans. Fun fact. Fun fact, I grew up in the 90s and graduated in 1996, and that's when Vans had kind of made their heyday. I remember wearing Airwaves. Were they Airwaves? I had a pair of patent leather Airwaves, I think is what they were called. I never got into Vans, but fun times. Okay, for Zeke, he's wearing a navy shirt and brown pants. So I wanted something that complemented the pink. And so one of my favorite color combos is navy, pink, and like a light green, or navy, magenta, and Kelly green. Those are the colors in my dining room, by the way. Navy, green, and coral, which may become the colors of my new guest bathroom and bedroom that we're about to redo. So those are definitely colors that go well together. And navy is a neutral. I know a lot of people kind of balk at that, but if you watch What Not to Wear with Stacey and Clinton, they'll tell you that navy is a neutral. So you can use it as a neutral and not be afraid. Navy, gold, and pink is pretty together. So all of these two, I wanted them to complement each other is what I'm trying to say. Not so well. So yeah. Once I've done that, I'm going to color his shoes, and then we're going to move on to the hair. I colored the ring box just a red. What company uses red ring boxes now that I think about it? There's blue. I know somebody does. And then I like to bring in, this is just a Le Pen brush marker, and I bring that in to darken their pupils because I can never get them crisp and dark. No matter how many times I stamp them. That's a me thing. Don't worry about it. So for his hair, I actually borrowed this color combination from Betty. And I will link the card that I used for inspiration in her blog in the description box down below. Betty is one of our design team members. And she used this as a blonde. And I thought, okay, I really, really love that color combination. And I really love how this turned out. This isn't my normal blonde color combo. I do something completely different. So it was fun to take inspiration from one of our design team members. That's why they're there, by the way. And to create and use colors that I normally wouldn't have used together. So if you are interested in seeing any of the design team creations, don't forget to join our Facebook group. I know I talk about it all the time. You're like, Misty, shut up about the Facebook group. I will never. You cannot make me. I cannot tell you how much inspiration you will find in that group. People post pictures every day. We have our Fannies that post their own creations, etc. And it's just a fun place to get not only inspiration, but also to get, positive feedback. Everybody's so positive. It's just a fun group. So yeah, join it. I know a lot of people are like, Facebook is for you boomers. Well, guess what? I'm not a boomer. Come join us over there. because I said so. So see, I would have never thought to bring that dark brown in, but it looks good. I really, really love it. So Zeke is going to have purple hair. I kept going back between pink or purple or blue, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to bring in some purples. You guys have heard me lament before about how much I hate the purples that Copic offers. They need to come out with some more. How do I write a petition? But I am pretty happy with this blend. So I'm just going in with the darkest color, like right where it begins to fold and then the side of their head. I'm just going to go ahead and color that, just a couple of colors. And there's not enough space to do a whole lot of blending, and it's supposed to be shaved, so there wouldn't be a whole lot of variation anyway. At least I think it's supposed to be shaved. Maybe it's a fade. I don't know. But so yes, I'm going to leave most of the blending and the highlights to the center of the hair. Coloring hair is probably one of my most favorite things ever. It's definitely something I want to get more practice at. And as I've mentioned before, I'm not one who likes to leave the stark white highlight. But if you're someone who likes that look, go right ahead. Again, coloring is subjective. You can color however you want to, and nothing is incorrect. Oh, I apologize. That just started mowing, but I'm getting this done. I apologize if you can hear it, but me. I need to give them a schedule and be like, listen, could you not come between these hours? It's Texas. It's summer. It's going to be in the hundreds tomorrow. I don't blame them for coming today. Welcome to Texas. Blech. Okay, so once I get his hair done, we're going to move on to the card, and I'm going to be using the Coliseum die. And this is just a warm gray paper that I had in my stash. So you guys know I like to use these adhesive sheets, and I'm going to use the adhesive sheets for the little stones, I guess, little blocks of stones that you see there. And I'm going to be cutting everything else out as is. So this goes together really easily. There's a lot of pieces, but it looks fantastic once it's done. And you can see here, I use washi tape to hold everything down, but Stamp Anything does have tape, I believe, in the store. And if I can find it, I will link it for you in the description box down below. So once everything is cut out, then again, see, I'm going to use these little bricks to cut them out. And what I love is Anna's giving us, like, we don't have to cut the same die over and over and over. There's four, so there's enough for each column. Okay, so I decided that I wanted to bring in an ink to kind of give it a little bit of a weathered look. And this is one of the toothbrush brushes that is really, really thin. So you're not going to get a really deep blend, and it's not going to be like consistent. And I loved that. So that was why I was like, yes, let me try this. And this is why I'm like, I don't know if this is in Greece. I don't know if this is in Rome. I don't know where this is, but it's cute and I like it. We're on a destination. So I would love to visit both places, by the way. I don't know if that'll ever get to happen, but I've always wanted to visit Italy. Italy has always been on my bucket list. I mean, so has Disney, so, you know. I just love history. I love everything about Europe. I think it's so fantastic. But I'm also drawn to the water. Like, I would love to live on the ocean, like in the Virgin Islands or in the Caribbean or Fiji, Bermuda, any place. I'm a water baby. Earth sign, but a water baby. And we're not that far from a lake. We're about half a mile. So anytime we go somewhere, we drive over a lake, but it's not quite the same thing. And my husband is from Massachusetts. I think we talked about this before. So when we've gone back up there, it's like, that's the very first place I want to go is to the ocean. If you're close to Maine, like Bar Harbor, Maine, Arcadia, I don't remember which one it is, but they have a spot where you can drive out. It's like the very, very tip of Maine. And it's just these rocks, and you can just sit and just watch the ocean. And I think we sat there for like 2 hours because I was just like, I could just sit here all day and listen to the ocean and watch the lobster boats, and there were seals and stuff. It was just a fantastic experience, and it's just so calming, and I love it so very much. So I didn't realize here, but I put that bottom on crooked. So we'll fix it in a minute, but as of right now, it's on crooked, and I'm just using my tweezers to poke out the little ones. So this is a piece of paper, I believe it's Farm Life. This is the one that came out with the farm release last year. And I love that it had this cloud because I did not feel like ink blending. Number one, because I felt like, I don't know, I wanted to keep it a little cartoony and not so realistic. And that's why I went with the paper. And then I used the card mat die, and that die is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So it fits the front of a standard size card. And I'm using some of the liquid glue from Stamp Anything so I have a chance to move it around. Laying this down flat as well. And you can see there it just kind of takes up, oh, I just love this so much. I love it. But then our guys are like, and I'm like, okay, they can't be standing in the clouds. So I brought in the cobblestone die. This came out, what was that release? This was the release with the chibis that were fantasy characters or like plain pretend. And I'm using just some brown ink on the kind of craft cardstock to make this. And this is where I realized that it's crooked. And I'm like, gosh darn it, Miss D. But guess what? It's paper and I'm going to cover it up. So I'm going to trim it down, add some adhesive on it, and then get it stuck down. And then I'm going to bring that ink back in after I decide where our characters are going to go. And I'm going to deepen it just a little bit to make it look like they have a little bit of shadow underneath there. And I'm just cutting these off. Now, last Christmas for my own channel, I was doing a bunch of like mass producing cards. And I found some 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch note cards on Amazon. And I bought a ton of those and I just keep them in my drawer. And if I don't want to use a colored background, I use those and it's fantastic. I absolutely love it. 10 out of 10 would recommend. So I always go around my cut images with a black brush marker, and I realized that I skipped his legs. So I was just going back over it. So you could cut this out with a cutting machine. Sometimes I have easy access to my silhouette. Sometimes I don't. And what I mean by that is sometimes my desk is cleaned off and sometimes it's not. So that is why I cut these out by hand. So last but not least, we're going to bring in, I had to cut off the little diamond when I was cutting out the ring box. So I'm bringing in just a pink rhinestone for a pink diamond for a cute little Riley. And once I do that, that's it. Thank you so much for joining me today, friends. I really do appreciate you. As I mentioned, I will have all supplies linked in the description box down below. All of the things that you need to know. Let me know what you think of this card. I'd love to hear your opinion, and we will see you next Friday for another video. Bye for now.